fear of mine when I first started. I think I talked about it briefly in one of my answer videos where I talked about getting lost. So, first and foremost, you're gonna get lost. Every driver has gotten lost. We've had drivers get lost. I've heard of drivers getting lost and getting themselves stuck on like a small road because they couldn't turn around. I've heard of drivers having to have highway patrol come out and help navigate them around and back them up because they were in such a tight spot. I've heard of buses getting ditched in the dirt because they went off and they couldn't get back onto the road. All types of crazy shit. So today I'm mostly going to be talking about how we navigate. You can't have GPSs in the bus, or specifically, you can't look at a GPS or have electronic devices while you're driving. That's a no-no. If you get caught using an electronic device while driving, you can be terminated. So, you can't use an electronic device while you're navigating. Now, with that said, you can use GPS if it's not being used while driving. For example, some drivers, and I've done it plenty of times, where I'll try to remember, because I'll remember my route, but I'll get turned around. So I'll stop the bus, I'll get out of the seat, I'll check my GPS to get me back to the route. Now, you don't want to use GPS to get you to your location, because unless you have a commercial vehicle, like a truck GPS, it's going to take you sometimes to some tiny roads that you just can't navigate. I've had once where it did bite me in the butt somewhat, where I was it had me making a left turn, and it was a really tight left turn, and like I was blocking traffic, and I had to back up traffic, back the bus up, and then go around the block in order to make it into that turn correctly, because I was following the GPS. So beware of that. So how to navigate is what we call the route guides. When you graduate, I guess, from the Greyhound school, you get this binder, and it's basically filled with these guys. These are route guides. So route guides basically help you navigate from location to location. You're gonna get a route guide from your hub or wherever you're hired out of. They're gonna have typically the most common route guides that you'll drive, and then what'll happen is if you go to a new location and they ask you to do a run you've never done before, they'll print you out a route guide, and the route guide will help you get to where you need to get to. So, like, we'll do a simple one here. So this is Los Angeles to Las Vegas. If you're an LA driver, you're going to be doing this one time and time again. And trust me, once you've been driving these routes over and over again, you're going to easily remember them. I haven't looked at a route guide in a minute when I was driving, and basically it was just, you just remember it. You remember the exits, you remember the names, and I'm terrible at that stuff, really. I'll remember, I'm good at remembering details, but I'm bad at remembering names. So, for example, I'll get off the highway and I don't remember, take 4th Street, take 11th Street, take, Main Street. There's just too many names for me to remember. I'll get off the exit, and in my mind, I'll know, okay, second light, make a right, make a left on the 1st Street, go around the building, it's in the back. That's how I remember it. I don't always remember all the street names. So on this route, this is the Los Angeles to Las Vegas. You're going to stop at Los Angeles terminal. You're going to start at Los Angeles terminal. You're going to go to Union Station, El Monte stop, Claremont, San Bernardino, Victorville, Barstow, and then ending in Las Vegas. Now, why these are so important. So, as you can see here, it has, let's see if I can get that without it being too bright for you guys. There we go. So, as you can see here, it has your outbound and inbound information from the last stop, which is Union Station. And then outbound, it says the El Monte, Claremont, San Bernardino. Inbound from those locations in case you skip them or whatever. And the maps kind of suck. I've had some that had some really nice maps. I've actually had a few that had no maps and they just expect you to figure it out. But I like having the maps, and this is why you want to break out your phone as well. Your phone is going to be your best guide, because map guides aren't always the best for me. Sometimes I'll do the satellite views so that I know, it'll be like, hey, here's the Los Angeles Union Station and here's the LA River. But it's really hard. You can see the 10 is here, and it just kind of, it's hard to really manage, just focusing on the map. But as you can see, it just has really clear, concise directions, and these directions are written by seasoned drivers, driving trainers and stuff like that, and they give you the best route to go, and it's often the best route. You may be like, oh, well, why don't I just cut through here? Well, cutting through there may be a ton of traffic. Cutting through there may be really tight corridors that you can't get through. So like here, so it says once you're outbound from Union Station, so he says left on station. He goes left of the station on 7th Street, right onto Alameda Street, right on to Cesar Chavez Avenue, right into Union Station driveway, drive straight ahead, park in the closest bus lot. That's one of the most important parts. I have gotten to so many stations and had no idea where to park. I've had a couple times where I've just was like, I have no idea where the hell to park, and I just parked anywhere, and then I had somebody come out, and they're just, they're damn near yelling at me. It's like, what the hell are you doing? You can't park there. You're supposed to be parked over here, and I'm just like, I wasn't paying attention to the route guide. So the route guide will tell you exactly where to park and all that stuff. So you don't really have to worry about it, He goes, I've been driving and I've missed turns, I've missed stops, and I've gotten heckled. I've had people, I remember the first time I drove from Las Vegas to Denver, they gave me a route guide, and it was kind of like a last minute thing because the driver was sick, and they kind of called me, at the last minute, like within like an hour or so, and gave me just a very little time to do the route guide. So, I was doing a combination of, studying the GPS, studying the route guide, and again, it messed me up. The route guide was pretty spot on, but yet the GPS kind of had me like going around the block, like making U-turns and all types of shit that I just couldn't do in the bus. So I remember I was coming to the stop and I had to make a left, and the GPS had me going down the block and making a U-turn, and I was following the GPS's directions because I couldn't really figure out the route guide that well, and I got, damn near stuck and having to make a bunch of turns just to get back, to find out that really it was, if I listened to the route guide, as soon as I got off, there was a quick left that I could have made, and boom, I would have been pulled right into the station. And I remember sitting there driving and just hearing people in the back, somebody nice and loud was like, I could hear them, they're like, this motherfucker not know where he's going? And so that I was just kind of like, I thought that was funny as hell. And I was just like, look, this is the first time I'm driving this route. This isn't my regular route. I will try and get you there on time and as safely as possible. So, that's how the route guide is. And it's real, it's got an outbound, it's got, some, it'll give you alternate routes, like westbound, leaving LA Greyhound, eastbound, leaving El Monte Station. So it'll give you different routes to get there as good as possible. So, a lot of people, and I was worried about it myself. Don't be worried about getting lost. First of all, you're going to get lost. Everybody gets lost at least once. Everybody misses a stop. Everybody misses the freeway off ramp. Everybody makes that mistake. One of the tips I can give, if you're a new driver, is when you're doing the route guide, a lot of them don't give you a sense of scale. So, you may be on the highway. So like here, so let's say you're leaving El Monte and you're going eastbound. So it'll tell you left on 7th Street, right on Alameda Street, onto the 110 busway, and then he goes, take the fast track until it ends, stop sign on the right onto Metro entrance, loading docks. So what'll happen is, one of the things that I had a big problem with was getting a scale of the distances. So you see here, it's like, get on the 10. And you're just like, okay, get on the 10. How long am I going to be on the 10? That's when GPS comes into, combining with the GPS really helps, especially for someone like me. So what I'll do is it'll be like, okay, get on the 10 and exit this exit. And then I'll look at it on my GPS and it'll be like, okay, this exit is actually like, from Union Station to El Monte, I think it's maybe like 5-6 miles. And that helps a lot. because it won't give you those distances. It'll just be like a lot of these route guides will just be like, look for this exit, and you're just like, where the hell is this exit? To find out that exit is like 3 hours away. So, you know, it's a good idea to use the route guide. Take a look at your GPS to give you a sense of scale, give you a sense of time and distance, and it'll help you a lot. You know, you won't get lost, you won't have too many problems, and it's really simple. As you can see, the maps here, it shows you where the highways are, shows you which streets, it gives you an idea of where it is, and it tells you exactly where to park. You know, see, it says Metro entrance, loading docks, park at space 29. You know, really simple. You know, you just take your time. It's okay to get lost. It's okay to stop and, you know, look at your route guide again. You don't want to be looking at your route guide while trying to drive. No, you want to freaking stop the bus, make sure you're safe, check the route guide. If you're really lost, whip out your phone to get you back to the route guide. Don't just rely on GPS, because like I said, a lot of times it'll steer you in the wrong direction. So that's how, you know, Greyhound bus drivers navigate around, and it'll help you, you know, to just, it'll, like I said, well, after a while, you'll just get used to these, and you won't even need the route guide. It'll just be your regular deal. You'll get to a spot, and it'll just make it easy for you. You'll just get accustomed to it. You know, it's like driving to home. You know where your home is. You know what streets you can take. You know what highways. It's just the same thing over and over again. You know, it was when, you know, somebody was like, "Hey, can you take this run to San Francisco?" Yeah, sure. I don't need to check the route guide. I've been to San Francisco a million times. I've done all the stops a million times. I know every route. You're gonna remember it real quick. Another cool thing is, when you pull into a new place, a lot of times they'll have signs and stuff to tell you, you know, where to stay. But some places don't have terminals, or they have terminals that don't have full services, meaning that you're going to pull your bus in, you're going to drop off your passengers, and then you're going to keep the bus and take it to the hotel and park it and all that stuff. In those cases, you know, you've got hotel information, and it tells you, you know, the hotel phone number, the address, and all that stuff. Some of them will give you recommendations as to where to park the bus, and you have operations. So at any time, you can call operations and tell them, you know, hey, I don't know where I'm supposed to go, or I don't know where the hotel is, or I don't know where to park the bus, and they'll actually tell you where it is. Plus, all the buses have GPS tracking, so they can track it at any time, and they can actually tell you where you're at as well. I haven't had to do that because, you know, everybody has a GPS in their phone and all that good stuff. So if you're worried about, you know, getting lost, you're worried about navigating, you're not good at navigating, don't worry about it. You'll get good at navigating. The route guides are really simple to follow, and you should be fine as far as getting around. So I'll try to keep some video, you know, keep you guys updated what's going on with me, and put out some new videos. I've had some big changes in my life. You know, I'm close to finishing my my pilot's license. I've been, you know, working on a lot of little things and making some significant changes in my life that, you know, I'll let you guys know. If you guys have any more questions, you're interested in the route guides, you're interested in navigating, you're still worried about, you know, what it's like to be a Greyhound bus driver, feel free to send me a question or two, and I'll try to put you guys at ease. You know, it's a good job, and you'll spend a good amount of time on the road, and there's some really cool people that you'll come across, and you know, I wouldn't be worried too much about it. All right, your boy Otaku Phil, and I'll talk to you guys later.